Hey everyone, this is Scott Wenkiewicz. Today I want to show you about focus stacking. So, up until recently I never experimented with focus stacking, mainly because the only software that I own that has focus stacking in it is Photoshop. And, well, I'm not a big fan of Photoshop. In my opinion, Photoshop is great for people who need the amount of layers that you can do in the software, or need the 3D control, or all the endless options that Photoshop offers. For the average photographer, you don't need every single thing that Photoshop has. So that's why I spend most of my time in Lightroom and in On1 software. However, both of them do not have focus stacking yet. I see focus stacking becoming more popular, so it's only a matter of time before other software start incorporating the feature into it. So what is focus stacking? Well, if you take a look at this photograph, there's multiple points of focal planes that's actually in focus. So for example, this rock is in focus, so is this pile of rock over here, and so is back here in the brick. Not the actual waterfall, but the brick. So how is this done? Well, basically, you're photographing multiple frames. So the exposure does not change, but your point of focus does. So take a look. Again, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see. This is actually one that's already been focus stacked. So it's in focus. There's areas of focus over here, and then over here, let's go up a little bit, the brick as well. So now let's take a look at the layers. So I'm going to actually go back down here. So here's the bottom layer, and you can see that there's areas that were removed. The next layer, more pieces to the puzzle, and then the completion. So basically what this is doing is it's taking multiple frames, multiple brackets, or whatever you want to call them, of different focus points, same exposure, and masking out the part that's least in focus. So that when combined, when the masks are combined, you've got a very sharp photo from close to far. Now what is this great for? This is really great for macro shots. This is really great for when you need as much detail as possible with a product or an animal or an insect or something. Now it's difficult if an object is moving, because when an object's moving you have to worry about, well, the object moving with multiple frames. So I don't really use it for that type of photos, but I do use it for landscape. I've been getting into it, and it's a lot of fun, except for the part where I have to open Photoshop, but that's okay. So as you can see here in Lightroom, I have the 3 photos, okay? So these are the 3 different images that I captured that are going to be turned into this focus stacked photograph. And then what I did is I dragged them down to my desktop, so now they're here, and then I opened them all up in Photoshop. Okay, so here's the 3 files, 3 individual raw files. Then I'm going to go up here, File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack, Add Open Files, Attempt to automatically align source images. That's it. Hit OK, and now it's going to take those 3 raw files, combine them into from closest focus to furthest focus, but without the mask. It's just going to do that. Takes a little bit of time, but it's done, as you can see here. Now, the next step is to actually do the focus stacking. So go down here and highlight all 3 or however many of your photographs that are in the layers. Make sure they're all selected. Go to Edit, Auto Blend Layers, and then choose Stack Images. Seamless tones and colors, so that it makes sure that the exposure stays the way it was, and hit OK. Now this is going to take a little bit of time. It's going to go through all the different raw files, and it's going to create the masks and whatnot, but watch what it does. It's really neat stuff. Okay, so here we are. You can see here that they just loaded here with the masks, and we can, again, see all the different pieces. So that is focus stacking. Now, if I was to go save this, now I already have it saved, but oh, this is also worth noting. You can see there's a little bit of transparency at the top. So the camera moved ever so slightly so that there's actually some transparency. What you could do is you can go here and hit trim and get rid of the transparency, or you can just do your own manual cropping. That's it. I'm not going to hit save because I already have it saved, but I do want to show you something that's pretty important. Check this out. Here are the 3 different RAW files. You can see here, these were all shot with the Nikon D800, so they're 35.9 megabytes, 36 megabytes, and 37 megabytes, 37.1. So they're pretty large RAW files. Okay, now, the combined Photoshop file with all the focus stacking and with all the 3 layers of RAW files plus masking for the focus stacking comes to 422 megabytes. So it's pretty big. Definitely worth noting that if you do this, you're going to have big files. When you're good to go, when you're done, you might want to shrink this down, flatten the layers, leave it as a Photoshop file, or flatten the layers, make it a TIFF, or whatever you think is best for your workflow. That's what I recommend doing because these are going to be taking up a lot of space. So that's it. That's focus stacking. If you have any questions, let me know.